Welcome to Maxim Momentum, where history comes alive. Today, we're diving into the eloquent world of one of the most iconic leaders in British history, Queen Elizabeth I. Known for her sharp wit, political savvy, and a reign that saw England ascend to heights of power, Elizabeth left behind words that still echo through the ages. But what are the stories behind these words? Stay tuned as we uncover the life, the legend, and the lessons of the Virgin Queen. Elizabeth Tudor, born in 1533, was the daughter of King Henry VIII and his second wife, Anne Boleyn. Her early life was anything but stable, marked by her mother's execution and the political and religious tumult of her father's reign. Elizabeth ascended to the throne in 1558 after the death of her sister, Mary I. Her reign, known as the Elizabethan era, was a golden age of English culture, witnessing the flourishing of English literature, the defeat of the Spanish Armada in 1588, and the beginnings of British colonial ventures in the Americas. Quote 1, "I have the heart and stomach of a king, and of a king of England too." In 1588, Queen Elizabeth I faced one of the most critical moments of her reign, the impending threat of the Spanish Armada. Addressing her troops at Tilbury, she delivered a rousing speech intended to boost their morale and demonstrate her leadership. Her bold declaration, "I have the heart and stomach of the king," was not just rhetoric. It was a strategic affirmation of her capabilities and resolve as a monarch, emphasizing her equality in leadership to any greater king. This quote epitomizes Elizabeth's prowess in navigating the challenges of the reign, particularly defying the traditional gender roles expected of her. By equating herself with the king, she not only rallied her forces, but also cemented her authority and legitimacy. This moment remains a defining one, illustrating her skillful use of language to reinforce her sovereign image and inspire her nation. Quote 2, "I know I have the body but of a weak and feeble woman, but I have the heart and stomach of a king." Speaking at Tilbury to her assembled forces, Elizabeth I adeptly acknowledged the traditional views of femininity, which considered women as weak and feeble. However, she immediately countered this by asserting her kingly strength of heart and stomach, effectively using her public persona to merge the expected roles of women with the authority and resilience typically reserved for a king. Through this declaration, Elizabeth masterfully challenged the norms of her era, projecting her strength and leadership, while still navigating the societal expectations of her gender. Her words served not only as a reassurance of her capabilities, but also as a strategic move to assert her undoubted right to rule independently, reinforcing her position as a competent and powerful monarch. Quote 3, "Though the sex to which I belong is considered weak, you will nevertheless find me a rock that bends to no wind." Facing ongoing pressures to marry and potentially dilute her authority by sharing power with a husband, Elizabeth I used this metaphor during public addresses to illustrate her steadfastness and independence. Her comparison to a rock is a powerful image, evoking strength and immobility in the face of political pressures and societal expectations. Elizabeth's choice of imagery here not only emphasizes her resolute independence, but also her tactical approach to leadership as a woman in power. By declaring herself unyielding, she not only reaffirmed her sovereignty, but also shaped the narrative around her reign, influencing future perceptions of female rulers and setting a powerful example for leadership without compromise. Quote 4, "We princes, I tell you, are set on stages in the sight and view of all the world." In this reflective observation, Elizabeth spoke of the inherent visibility and scrutiny that come with royal life. Understanding her position as a public figure, she likened her role to that of an actor on a stage, always under the watchful eyes of both her subjects and international followers. This awareness influenced her conduct and her governance, knowing each action would be heavily scrutinized. Elizabeth's analogy highlights the dual reality of monarchy, glamorous yet burdensome. It underlines her sophisticated grasp of the performative elements required in leadership, emphasizing the strategic display of power and poise necessary to maintain her authority and the respect of her subjects. Quote 5. My care is like my shadow in the sun, follows me flying, flies when I pursue it. In a rare glimpse into her personal reflections through correspondence, Elizabeth used this poetic language to describe the elusive nature of peace and contentment in her role. The metaphor of a shadow that moves with the sun captures the ongoing and often unattainable nature of her desires and responsibilities, always present and constantly shifting. This quote reveals a more introspective side of Elizabeth, showcasing her depth as both a monarch and a thinker. It eloquently captures the constant pursuit of stability and satisfaction in her role, marked by the inherent challenges and loneliness of power, providing insight into the personal sacrifices entailed in her public duties. Quote 6. To be a king and wear a crown is a thing more glorious to them that seeth that it is pleasant to them that bear it. Elizabeth often spoke about the burdens of monarchy, and this quote encapsulates her view on the dichotomy between the perceived glamour of being a monarch and the harsh realities of ruling. Her insight into the glory seen by outsiders versus the pleasantness experienced by the bearer offers a poignant commentary on the true cost of leadership. This reflection serves as a powerful testament to the challenges Elizabeth faced as queen. It underscores her acute awareness of the responsibilities and sacrifices hidden behind the regal fog, providing a candid acknowledgement of the weight leadership carries, far from the ideal illusions held by the populace. Quote 7. He that will forget God will also forget his benefactors. This statement underscores Elizabeth's integration of religious duty with political strategy. During a time when religion played a central role in governance, she used such declarations to remind her subjects of the divine right of kings and the importance of loyalty and moral conduct. By linking divine remembrance with gratitude towards one's benefactors, Elizabeth not only reinforced her religious convictions, but also strategically reminded her subjects of the hierarchical and reciprocal nature of power and loyalty. This quote reflects her skillful use of religious and moral rhetoric to reinforce her political objectives and maintain social order. Elizabeth I's reign was not just a period of personal triumph, but also a transformative era for England. Her words, laden with the wisdom of her experience, continue to inspire and teach us about leadership, resilience, and the complexities of power. Thank you for joining us on this historical journey into the heart and mind of Queen Elizabeth I. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon to get notified about our latest videos where history is always in the making.